Welcome to the Coffee Clutch, a social gathering for good conversation over a cup of coffee. Grab your cup and let's get started. Today's old saying is another Aesop's fable, and it is so apropos, which I find, once again, rather amazing because it's so old. Aesop lived 600 to, he was born in 620 and died in 560 BC. Before the birth of Christ. That's a long time ago, and yet the moral to his story, lean freedom is better than fat slavery, still holds true today, and is especially apropos with this whole coronavirus quarantine. Now, this story is the story of the house dog and the wolf. And the wolf, after a long, difficult winter and on the verge of starvation, comes across the house dog and sees the house dog is well fed and well groomed, and the wolf is kind of jealous of what he has and says, "Wow, can I be a part of what you have?" And the house dog says, "Well, I certainly think my master would take good care of you as he does me." So the wolf agrees to go home with the house dog. And on the way home, the wolf notices a bare spot of hair on the dog's neckline and inquires about that bare spot. The house dog says, "Don't worry, that just comes from my collar. And during the day, I'm chained up, and at night, I run free to protect the home." Well, this took the wolf by surprise. "What do you mean you're chained up? You're not free? Free to go as you please?" And the house dog says, "Well, no, I am chained by my master." And with that, the wolf walks away. I guess we have to ask ourselves, who are we? Are we the dog, or are we the wolf? I know where I stand. I go along with the moral of the story that lean freedom is much better than fat slavery. Currently, with this quarantine, we're being treated as if we simply can't be allowed to have the freedom to take a risk. I mean, we just can't do that. And yet, the quarantine, as we all know, has put an incredible burden on our society. It has destroyed many livelihoods. This will have a rippling effect far, far greater than most of us can even imagine. I know my son was asking me the other day, or not asking me, but rather just considering, what kind of an effect will this have on third world countries that depend on the generosity of Americans in particular? Because we're a very generous society. We give a lot of money to the poor, but if we don't have the jobs, how are we going to give our money? We won't be able to do that. And what kind of a rippling effect will shutting down our economy have on those third world countries? Kind of makes you shudder to think about it. I know for some, the idea, well, now I don't have to work and the government's going to give me money, and that's the way it should be anyway. I'm not sure why anybody thinks that, since governments don't make money. Governments take money. Government doesn't produce a product. They don't create wealth. So I don't really see how it's going to work out for the government to give us money and to keep giving us money and keep giving us money. Now, I know we've had a stimulus package. I personally haven't read the whole thing. I doubt many people have. I really don't understand how it could possibly work, how this isn't going to blow up in our faces. You know, it seems to me that you always have to pay a price at the end of the day. Nothing comes for free. So how this is going to work out for the government to just be giving people all this money, I am not quite sure. I know stimulus packages have happened under the Democrats as well as the Republicans, so I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. I hope and I do pray that it is a good thing. I even understand the request for us to stay home and close things down so that hospitals could be well prepared in case there is a surge, and so that we could make sure we had plenty of ventilators and no one was turned away, and plenty of hospital beds so that no one was turned away, and that maybe we could even get through the peak of this so that fewer people might get it, and then hopefully the virus will have a seasonal type existence like the flu does, and that come fall it won't be we'll be better prepared if it does come back with a vengeance. And so, okay, all of that made some sense, and clearly people were very willing to do it with very little persuasion necessary. Stores shuttered, people went home, and we sat, and we're still sitting. I know we're talking about opening up, and I support President Trump wholeheartedly, and the different governors across the country, and I think there have been Republican and Democrat governors throughout the country who are really pushing hard to get back to an open economy, and I do support them. I understand that it comes with a risk. That opening up comes with a risk that some of us will get this. Some of us will die from it. I don't have a death wish. I don't think most people out there do. I certainly don't want any of my friends or family to get it and to die from it. And I'm greatly sorrowed by those who have been affected by it and have lost loved ones. None of us take that lightly. That's a serious thing. But most of us know life comes with risks. We cannot be protected to such an extent that we cannot live. Because if we can't live, then what are we being protected from or protected for? So I think the story's very apropos. That lean freedom, it's talking about the risks that we take, the struggles that we have, the ups, the downs, the successes, and the losses that happen in life. But having the opportunity to experience those things, to work for ourselves, to work to be successful, to have achievements, is certainly better than being patted on the head and thrown a little bit of, having the government throw you a little bit of money so that you can sustain your life. I don't think that's the American spirit. I think the American spirit is to get out there and get it done. Whatever it is that needs to get done, we're there to do it. I hope our governors have the strength and the courage to go ahead and open up. Our mayors and our county executives have the courage to open up, and that we as a people stand behind them and encourage them and support them in that decision. Because as I said before, when we open up, it will come with a risk. And some people may die. In fact, we know people will continue to get this virus, and we know some people will die from it. But we need to encourage our elected officials to have the courage to take the risk. It's a calculated risk. We're better prepared for those who do get the virus now. We're better prepared to take care of them. So let's encourage them, write a letter, make a phone call, stand tall and strong that it is time to open up. Yes, that lean freedom comes with risks. But as Americans, we're okay with taking some risks. So with this old saying, I wish you good health and safety. And I want to remind you, lean freedom is better than fat slavery. Keep that in mind. And I hope you liked this. Please push the like button, share, and subscribe. I have a lot of fun talking about these old sayings. Come back and visit, and take care of yourself.